Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the pre-show for the Spring Gala, an evening to support Long Live the Kings. My name is Nelson J., and I'll be your host and fundraising ambassador tonight, and I'm coming to you live from Ray's Boathouse right here on the shores of Puget Sound, right outside the Ballard Locks. Well, I've got a great crew gathering with me here tonight, and we are so excited to have you join us virtually, so we can raise a whole lot of money for science-based efforts to recover salmon and steelhead populations. The program begins tonight at 6:30 p.m., and there are a few ways that we can all connect with each other tonight throughout the evening. First, if you're viewing at home and you need support viewing or donating tonight, there is a tech line, and the best way to reach that is to simply call 503-564-3044. Once again, the tech line, you can call or text, and that number, 503-564-3044. You can also connect with us using the chat window to your right, and it's just over there. And you can say hello and let us know where you're tuning in from. For captions in English or Spanish, you can click the Show Captions button below. And if you're here in person and would like captions, you'll be able to open a browser on your phone and visit avcast.me/LLTK. We've also got a treat that both audiences can participate in tonight, the amazing online auction, which is open now. You'll see the you'll see the online auction button above. So you can click that button to get there, or you can visit the website by going to lltk22.ggo.bid. I'll be back soon for one more announcement before we go live at 6:30 p.m. Until then, happy bidding, and thank you for supporting Long Live the Kings. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show for the Spring Gala. I'm your host, Nelson J., and I'm so excited to be here again to support this amazing organization that we all know and love. Long live the Kings. We've got an exciting night ahead. Well, I am so excited that I'm coming to you from Ray's Boathouse right here at the mouth of the Ballard Locks along the shores of Puget Sound, and what a day for a fundraiser. We also have a great online audience joining us virtually, and to those of you at home, welcome, and thank you for spending your Thursday evening with us tonight. We are here to raise money and protect our precious and essential marine life. We'll get started in just a few minutes, so let's make sure those of you tuning in from home have everything you need to enjoy the show. First, technical support is available tonight. If you need any help, you can text or call the tech support line, which is 503-564-3044. Once again, 503-564-3044. You can also view captions in English or Spanish during tonight's program. Just click the Show Captions button below this video. And there's also a chat window just to the right of your screen. Use that for virtual cheering or applause as we go along our program tonight. Anyone can also check out our incredible online auction, and our online auction packages are up for bid right now while we speak. And as you're watching, just click the online auction button above the video player, and that will get you started. Or you can simply go to the following website, and that's lltk22.ggo.bid. Well, I'll be right back, so stay where you are. The program starts at 6:30 p.m. See you in a minute. Hello, hello, and welcome to Spring Gala, a night for us to come together and support Long Live the Kings. I'm your host and fundraising ambassador tonight. My name is Nelson J., and as a longtime supporter of this incredible work, I'm so excited to be back together in person in this time and space and invest in the health and vitality of our aquatic ecosystems. To our friends gathered here at Raise tonight, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being part of the event and the live studio audience. Sounds so great clapping as we came in. And it's so good to see you at home tonight, and thanks to our friends who have spent their afternoon getting ready for this broadcast and joining us from home. Thank you so much for participating in tonight's all-important Spring Gala fundraiser. Well, I'd like to take a moment to give gratitude to tonight's sponsors, who are also a key part of the Long Live the Kings community. So a big thank you, and those of you in the room, feel free to clap for our sponsors. A big thank you to our sockeye sponsors tonight: Environmental Science Associates, Jamestown Sklallam Tribe, the Pacific Salmon Foundation, the Port Gamble Sklallam Tribe, Seattle City Light, and Wildlife Forever Fund. Special thanks to our chum sponsors, Kleinschmidt and Linker. And thank you to our friends of Long Live the Kings, Confluence Environmental Company and Manulife Investment Management. With so much happening in our world right now, including a rapidly changing climate, it's so easy to feel disheartened and powerless. But in this evening, tonight, we invite you to step into your power. Join us on a journey that is focused on revitalizing marine life and connecting us to the natural world around us. Let's keep connecting throughout the program. For those of you at home, connect with us using the chat window, and that's just to the right of this video. We're all here because we can all agree on one thing: that salmon and steelhead are crucial to our life here in the Pacific Northwest, and that in order to reverse the historic declines of their populations, it is up to us to help them thrive. For me, my support for this incredible organization runs deep because I believe we must work together to protect precious marine life. And I know that when we work together, we can do some pretty amazing things. Long Live the Kings is part of a larger international web of solutions to take what science teaches us, to make a plan, and to take action. And we know that with dwindling salmon populations, we simply can't afford to wait. Later tonight, we'll have the chance to invest in all the active efforts happening right now in salmon recovery. But first, let's hear how the completion of the Salish Sea Marine Survival Project is contributing to some of these game-changing efforts. Please help me in welcoming Long Live the Kings Executive Director, Jacques White.
Sure. Thanks, Nelson. Thanks. It's great to have you back as our MC tonight, and it's great to be back in a room full of people live. I really appreciate it. So thank you for coming out. Thanks, everybody at home, for joining us. I want to welcome you to our, well, maybe we call it the summer gala, because the weather we're having tonight is so beautiful. We have a great program. Can't wait to share it with you. Tonight, you're going to learn more about how we're moving from science to action to recover salmon and their ecosystems, and about how your past investments in Long Live the Kings are paying off. And I want to give a special thanks again to all of our sponsors, to our donors, past and present, to our partners, to our board members who are here and who are at home watching, and also to our staff, and maybe particularly to our staff. And I want to give a special shout out to Trevor Laugen, who is our grants and database manager, who tomorrow will celebrate his 5th anniversary at Long Live the Kings. Thanks, Trevor. Before I go any further, I want to note that we recognize that our work in tonight's gathering takes place on Coast Salish tribal lands throughout the region. Long Live the Kings is committed to the process of improving our practices and understanding in relationship with indigenous peoples and lands as we work to recover salmon and steelhead for all. I hope by now many of you have had time to review our website or the written summary report, and there's a copy in your bag on your chairs. So if you're in the room, you can see that. If you're not and you're at home and you haven't received one, please let us know and we'll send it to you. This focuses on the recently completed International Salish Sea Marine Survival Project. This unprecedented study is driving new work to improve survival of young salmon and steelhead throughout Puget Sound and the Salish Sea. From this critically important study, we found multiple factors causing lower marine survival. But there were two major findings. We learned that predation, largely by harbor seals, has increased significantly on juvenile salmon and especially on steelhead. We also learned that juvenile Chinook and coho don't have enough food when they first enter saltwater. Something has broken down in the marine food web that has disconnected both hatchery and wild salmon from their prey. Climate change and human population growth are likely changing the amount, quality, and timing of food available to young fish. For example, things like changes in snow melt and maximum spring flows that are occurring earlier. The region is getting sunnier. Water temperatures in the basin are increasing. It's less windy, and there are more nutrients in the system. All of these factors are adding up to less zooplankton and fish larvae in the water when salmon really need them. To address these issues, Long Live the Kings and our partners are working to raise and release hatchery salmon so they enter marine waters at the best time to help them access their food as the climate changes. We're also working to directly boost critical food resources for Chinook by better understanding and increasing the production of Pacific herring. Here is a video describing some of this new work.
When I think of the Puget Sound or the Salish Sea, I think of salmon. They feed a community, and not just physically, but emotionally, culturally.
Salmon have a very complex and diverse life history that touches on everything from the mountains to freshwater all the way out to the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
The Salish Sea Marine Survival Project was a really large international study to look at the health and survival of juvenile salmon and steelhead in Puget Sound. The two major factors that we learned from that study are that it looks like there are changes in the food web that are affecting particularly Chinook and coho that spend more time in Puget Sound. Changes in the timing of the food that's available, changes in the amount of food that's available, and changes in the quality of food that's available. When I say food, that means things like zooplankton and small forage fish.
The ecosystem level approach to management of keystone species throughout Puget Sound is extremely important and is the basis for most of the research that Long Live the Kings gets involved in, and taking a food web, ecosystem-wide lens to solving problems.
Long Live the Kings hatchery, Glenwood Springs up on Orcas Island, we've been rearing Chinook for well over 30 years. And one of the things that we've noticed is that we have had decreasing returns over time. And there are a couple of reasons we think for that. The marine environment is becoming less favorable, increased predation on juvenile salmon and steelhead as a result of larger populations of harbor seals, and also increasing phytoplankton blooms both in the spring and in the fall when they return. One of the things that we learned from the Marine Survival Project is there seems to be a disconnect between when salmon are in the environment ready to feed and when those resources are available. And one of the key food resources for those species are forage fish, and particularly Pacific herring. The reason that there are changes in herring spawning timing has in part to do with climate. The herring that spawn later in the year have been reduced, and the herring that spawn earlier in the year have increased. and then they are growing ahead of the salmon. So one of the strategies that we're thinking about is how can we change how we operate the hatchery? Can we essentially manipulate the life history of the fish so that they are better adapted and able to deal with these changes in the environment?
One outcome we're hoping it would lead to is fish that return older and bigger.
Long Live the Kings is working with a number of partners to try to address some of the issues that we've learned about in the Salish Sea Marine Survival Project. One is we're working on trying to restore forage fish habitat and/or create enhanced habitat for forage fish in South Puget Sound.
Some of our projects target recovering herring spawning habitat and adapting traditional harvesting practices to supplement the spawning habitat and to also understand where spawning populations are and what might be driving herring abundance.
Long Live the Kings has partnered with the Fort Gamble Squam tribe, the Nisqually Indian tribe, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, and the University of Washington to essentially assess habitat use and identify recovery techniques for Puget Sound herring. What we've done is taken an indigenous practice and adapted it to essentially use evergreen boughs and trees as artificial spawning substrate.
So we touch these young hemlock branches weighted down with a rock anchor so that they'll hang vertically in the water column. Herring are this really critical food source for many different creatures over this period of time that starts in the winter when other food sources are really scarce. You can't really overstate the importance of herring to the Salish Sea ecosystem. They're definitely a foundational species in a lot of ways, ecologically and culturally. Humans can have a really positive impact on our environment. A lot of First Nations and tribal communities, their cultural knowledge had and is still having a really positive impact on the environment, and we can use those techniques too to also be helping and not just, studying what's going wrong, but trying to make a positive impact.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that and learned something. In recent news relevant to the video you just watched, residents on Orcas Island were treated last month to an incredible herring spawning event right down the shore from our Glenwood Springs hatchery. That's a hopeful sign that our ecosystem is resilient and can still produce what we need it to. Long Live the King's ongoing and new work expands on how we look at salmon as part of the Salish Sea ecosystem. From our long-term work in Hood Canal Steelhead Project to our newer work that you just saw about, focusing on herring and Chinook diversity, which emerged from the Marine Survival Project, to supporting studies of salmon in the open ocean in the face of climate change, we look at the big picture. For decades, along with our partners, we've been working in Hood Canal to recover steelhead, our state fish. From this work, we realized that there were problems in the canal and Puget Sound where overall marine survival has fallen by a factor of 10. But data analyzed through the Marine Survival Project for the steelhead across the whole Northwest pointed to survival declines in the open ocean for coastal steelhead populations as well. And in fact, marine survival for steelhead for coastal rivers in BC and Washington also fell from the late 1970s to 2010 by a factor of 5. To start understanding this ocean mortality, we need to look offshore to find out how our salmon and steelhead from around the Pacific Rim are doing at critical times in their development. According to fisheries scientists supporting the International North Pacific Anadromous Fish Commission, there is no more critical time for young salmon in the ocean than at the end of winter. So the 2022 Pan-Pacific Winter High Seas Expedition is an example of another much-needed cooperative research effort and an idea that was actually spawned by the US-Canada partnership in the Salish Sea. This work not only includes navigating both the complexities of science in extremely rigorous conditions, but also, and especially in 2022, geopolitics. Long Live the Kings was instrumental in working with Congress and NOAA to secure the needed funds for the U.S. vessel to participate in this unparalleled five-nation research project. Here's a map showing the cruise tracks for all the vessels involved in the expedition. The first of the 4 ships to go to sea was NOAA's Belle M. Shimada. After a mechanical difficulty and an unplanned visit to Kodiak, it was able to complete 2 transects in the western Gulf of Alaska, collecting data as weather in late February and March allowed. The second ship to go to sea was the RV Tinro from Russia, which was waylaid by extremely poor weather and had to hold for several weeks off the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Western Pacific. The third and fourth vessels to go to sea were the Canadian Coast Guard's Sir John Franklin and the fishing vessel Raw Spirit, which was deploying gill nets to cross-check the efficiency of trawl gear regularly used in marine fish surveys. By the time the Tinro reached port at Dutch Harbor to take on equipment and staff, war had broken out in the Ukraine this year. And while they were able to load sampling gear and Canadian staff scientists, the US staff scientists were not allowed to participate, and the ship was not allowed to operate in the US exclusive economic zone, which is why the cruise tracks are truncated north to south. There is another ship actually out there now that is finishing that survey from the US. Despite incredibly steep odds, 8-meter waves, and a war starting in the middle of the expedition, the international community of salmon managers and scientists were able to maintain focus and continue to work at sea, collecting invaluable data that will advance the understanding of our fish and their ecosystem as the climate changes. As an important side note, the species caught most frequently in the gill net deployed by the Raw Spirit were steelhead, while almost no steelhead were sampled by the trawl gear, pointing to the value of using the 2 gear types at the same time. All the work that you're hearing about tonight informs our thinking on how the pieces of the salmon management puzzle fit together. And it demonstrates the need for the coordinated effort to look at how climate is impacting our salmon. You can see that Long Live the Kings is leading partnerships to address the most pressing issues of salmon and climate at scale. And I assure you that after over 30 years of work, we've only just begun. So I hope you will enjoy the next video.
If you live here in the Northwest, salmon become a piece of your culture, a piece of place, a piece of your heart and soul.
The rivers just aren't the same. Every river was packed with fish all the time. It just all disappeared almost overnight.
The numbers are really a fraction of what they once were. And to be fair, also a fraction of what these watersheds can support. Right now is a very critical time for a little more aggressive action. The Hood Canal Steelhead Project was an incredible collaboration of 16 partners, including NOAA, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Forest Service, and then locally, the Skokomish tribe, the Port Gamble tribe, as well as the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group.
The Hood Canal Steelhead Project, I got involved with it through my work with Long Live the Kings and the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group back in the late 1990s. And that kind of spawned this larger effort to look at the effects of conservation hatcheries on steelhead populations in Hood Canal.
Today we are going through our 4-year-old steelhead adults. They were laid as eggs from wild returning fish to the North Fork of the Skokomish River. We are going to check them to make sure that they're mature, which means that the females are expressing eggs and ready to spawn.
We would find the red, the place where the fish spawned, and then we would go take some of the eggs out of the gravel.
And we brought them back to the hatchery.
We raise them here in very uncrowded conditions and put them back in the river when they're ready to spawn.
We've given them a good diet, optimal conditions to grow. You just hope that you gave them everything they need to be successful and thrive. Here we are going to release these fish, and then within 3 to 36 hours, they will have spawned the next generation. It's really powerful.
They were going to go extinct, and they're not going to now.
That's change. Hopefully, that's lasting change.
The Hood Canal Steelhead project has generated substantially more critical information than we ever imagined it would. We've learned a lot about the life history of steelhead and how the varying habitats in Hood Canal shape their life history.
Steelhead move out of Hood Canal near the surface of the water. And we found out that they hit the Hood Canal Bridge. There's a myriad of predators on that bridge.
The Hood Canal Bridge is really the big elephant in the Hood Canal, and any effort that we can put toward fixing that problem is going to make a massive impact on Hood Canal steelhead populations. As habitat restoration practitioners, we have a great handle on what's happening within the freshwater systems. The missing piece is what's happening in the ocean.
To understand salmon, we need to understand what's going on locally as well as in the high seas.
We don't really know what happens in the ocean. We've sort of built an entire system, sort of an ecosystem of research and management based on what happens when salmon come back. What if they don't come back?
The purpose of this expedition is to really try and understand the high seas ocean ecology of Pacific salmon. We'll look at the water chemistry. We'll take zooplankton nets, send those down, sample the prey base, and then we'll also use big trawls. So we're catching fish and then whatever else is associated with them.
The primary objective of the North Pacific Anadromous Fish Commission is to promote the conservation of anadromous stocks. And the member countries are Canada, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Russian Federation, and of course the United States. And the idea of the International Year of the Salmon Initiative is primarily to connect people across the Northern Hemisphere that are working on salmon outreach and research, and try to get people to work together more effectively to build resilience for salmon and for people.
It is completely an international issue of helping understand what's going on. And I think it's really important too that we all bring a different perspective to it.
When you're trying to connect things across huge scales like that, all the governance and the agencies, all the structure, you need people that can connect those dots. And Long Live the Kings has done that. I can say unequivocally that the expedition would not have happened without the efforts of Long Live the Kings. If you have a hope for salmon, it's going to be the same hope that you have for people, that we're coexisting in a society that respects environment, and we have a functioning environment in terms of freshwater, coastal, and high seas ecosystems.
And our hope is that the legacy of the IYS will be to build this network of people that are connected across countries and across sectors that can more effectively work together to understand what's happening to salmon in the rapidly changing world we live in, and to help salmon and the people that depend on salmon to thrive in an uncertain future.
Well, thank you, Jacques. Yes, thank you, Jacques. And thank you, Rick and Joy and all of the scientists that have been working on these projects. Friends, long live the Kings, get stuff done. When I see those ships at high sea, it's incredible to see the work that is happening tonight. Well, we are thrilled to be back with you. We're moving into the most important part of the evening from a fundraising standpoint. And we want these fish to be here for everybody's next generation. I've got kids, I'd like their kids to enjoy salmon. It's such an important part of who we are as Northwesterners. Born and raised right here. Let's help these salmon tonight. I want a thriving salmon future because the Northwest rivers are home to the salmon, and this is where our future generations need to experience salmon in their native habitat. So tonight, as you consider giving tonight, think about what is your why. Why are you supporting salmon tonight? What makes it important to you? And friends, the time has come to do our part in this international collaboration. This is why we are here, to take action, and we want to show the world what Washington can do. How Long Live the Kings is showing up to take action. Now is our time to save our salmon. So here's how this is going to work tonight. For those of you here with me in the room, I'll go through different giving amounts, different giving levels, and when I get to the level that works for you, or perhaps it's a level just above what you were thinking about giving tonight, please raise your bid cards. For those tuning in from home, you can simply click the donate button above, or you can text the number 44321. You'll text LLTK, that's LLTK, to 44321. And remember, you can donate any amount at any time, particularly for those of you at home, any amount at any time tonight. And even though there's a slight delay from the time that you make your donation, your name will pop up on one of my monitors at the foot of the stage, and we'll have a chance to thank everybody for what you're about to do tonight for salmon in the Pacific Northwest. So, is everybody ready? Yes, the room says yes. Well, tonight I'm excited to announce that we're going to get started at the $10,000 level. And as I mentioned earlier, look, the seagulls are excited about that. Great shout out from, we can hear the sea lions and the seagulls outside tonight. It's beautiful. Tonight, we are excited at that $10,000 level. This is more of a guideline than a rule, and I want to let you know, particularly those of you at home, if there's a number on your heart above 10,000 that works for you, feel free to make that gift right now. Yes, that'll get Jacques to sound like a sea lion. And all joking aside, at the $10,000, so any amount at this $10,000 level or higher, and wow, look, in the room right now, bidder number 101, thank you so much for that. That's James Kraft and Dominique Posey. Thank you for your support. Great board members. And I would also like to let you know that we have another board member giving tonight. Thanks to Doug and Nan Little at the nearly $10,000 level with an $8,000 gift to Long Live the Kings. So if you can give at the $10,000 level, now's the time to make that gift. And I'm excited to announce that we have a little challenge out there. And special thanks to John Teutsch and Mary Foster, who have agreed to donate $10,000 if there's another person in the room tonight. And there's not, I mean, we have like maybe 60 people here tonight. So if you're in a position and $10,000 works for you, then that's going to get matched by John Teutsch and Mary Foster. So we have a $10,000 challenge out there to anybody. Even if you've already given, you can give again at that $10,000 level. So thank you for your consideration. That challenge will be out there all night long, so don't despair. If you feel so inclined and moved, we would love to take advantage of that very generous gift from John and Mary. So thank you so much. All right, in the online giving, I'm going to hit the folks in the room first, and then we're going to go to the online giving. And I have a floor monitor, so I'm going to go to that. Right now, we're going to move to our next giving level. And our next giving level, first of all, let's have a big round of applause. We had two at that $20,000 level, so let's give those folks a great big hand. And now, friends, we'll move to the $5,000 giving level. And if $5,000 works for you, this is a great opportunity to get in and support Long Live the Kings. And who else is ready to give? Raise those bid cards at that $5,000 giving level. And to kick us off tonight, right here, excited to announce Gary and Susan Caller. Thank you for your support at $5,000. That's terrific. And anybody else at that $5,000 level, if you'd like to do a gift at that level, now's the time to make that $5,000 gift to Long Live the Kings. Online, I would like to recognize Eric and Susan Carlson. They've joined at that $5,000 level. So Eric and Susan, thank you for your $5,000 gift. And if you'd like your name read tonight live during this telecast or in the room, make that gift at the $5,000 giving level. That's outstanding. We have a special challenge as well. A big thanks to Gary Reed, and Gary Reed is going to match any $5,000 gifts dollar for dollar, the first two gifts, up to $10,000 in matching. So if you're in a position to make a $5,000 gift tonight, Gary is going to match that. So let's hear a great big hand for Gary Reed for his incredible generosity tonight. Thank you, Gary. And thanks to those of you considering that $5,000 gift. These matches will be open all night long, and you can make that match, that special gift, either at home via the giving tool, or you can make that gift as you check out tonight. So thank you for your consideration at that $5,000 giving level. And we'll move right along to the $2,500 giving level. And at the $2,500 giving level, I'm excited to announce that we have more support. And the support is coming all the way from our friends in California, and they've been giving online. That is the name of the group, Friends from California of Long Live the King. So let's give them a big round of applause. And that's a $4,000 gift to Long Live the King. It's a $4,000 gift, so thanks to that group. And also at that giving level, giving online, former board president and great friend of the organization, Bob Jersa, and his wife and committee member, Barb Jersa. So thanks to the Jersas for their incredible and longtime support of Long Live the Kings. And also tonight, giving ahead of time a big shout out to board member Phil and Maggie Stallcup for their support. Anybody else at the $2,500 level? Thank you so much. Bidder 114 tonight in at $2,500. And bidder number 122 is in at $2,500. Thank you so much. And I'm excited to announce that thanks to the support of the MJF Foundation, they have put a $5,000 challenge out. So those two gifts were just matched dollar for dollar. So that's another $10,000 we just raised for Long Live the King. So how about that? Congratulations. Thank you. And anybody else at that $2,500 level in the back of the room, thank you. Bidder number 104 is in at $2,500. Anyone else and that's JJ and Linda Gould. Thank you for that so much. Great friends of the organization. Anybody else at that $2,500 level? And if you're at home and you'd like to give at $2,500, now's the time to make that gift through the power of technology that is so complicated. I can't begin to understand it. But I get names like delivered to me as soon as you make a gift at home. So let's light up that monitor in front of my left toe, and we will, and my left big toe, and we'll continue to raise money for saving salmon right here in the Salish Sea. Well, thank you so much for those gifts. Let's have a great big round of applause for all of our donors at the $2,500 level. And that brings us, friends, to the $1,000 giving level. Our next level is $1,000. And if that's a number that works for you, then now's the time to make that gift. And I would love to. We were inspired by the seagulls earlier. I would love to see a flock of seagulls at the $1,000 level in the form of bid cards right here in this room. So now's the time to raise those bid cards. And donors at home, we see you too, and I'm going to recognize you in just a moment. But right now, we'll get started at the $1,000 giving level right here in the room. Thank you to bidder number 127 and bidder number 111. Thank you. And bidder number 109. Thank you for those $1,000 gifts. And I am excited because our good friend Gary Reed has been a matching machine tonight, and he's got a little bit of a challenge out there. At the $1,000 level, Gary's going to be matching 10 gifts at the $1,000 level, and with pre-committed gifts that I'm going to read right now, plus the ones that we just got, we've got room for 3 more at that $1,000 level that are going to get matched dollar for dollar. So big shout out at home, or perhaps somewhere with Wi-Fi on the fantail of the boat, Gaylord Kellogg. Thank you, Gaylord, for that $1,000 gift. Board member Leah Hare. Thank you, Leah. And an LLTK board member is donating $2,000. So thank you for that $2,000 gift. And then great to hear from support from our friend Mike Devaney and Tracy Bishop for their support at the $1,000 levels. And then there he is himself, Jerry Adams, former, that's right, Jerry Adams, and then former board president Marie Mentor. So thank you, Marie, for that. And also Barbara Snap is in at the $1,000 giving level. So we have room for 3 more. And if you're at home tonight, we can take up to 3 more. We'll take as many as you can get, because remember, we have the $5,000 and $10,000 matches available tonight, and also 3 more at the $1,000 level. So if you'd like to give, or you give a little bit later, and you'd like to give more, you can still trigger that match. That'll be open. And a big thanks to Gary Reed for his incredible support tonight. And that brings us, friends, to our $5,000 giving level. And we are thrilled. Did I say 5,000? I meant 500. It's a subliminal. This is the $500,000 giving level. And we're climbing, folks. This is the $500 giving level. And at $500, you are making investment in science-based solutions to combat climate change and restore salmon right here in the Salish Sea. So at the $500 giving level, if you haven't given at home or haven't yet raised your bid card in the room, this is a great level to raise that bid card high overhead. I'll recognize those in the room first. So get those bid cards up high, and then we will acknowledge those of you at home. So remember, if you're at home and you want to give, the way to give tonight is to click the donate button just on the screen there, or you can text LLTK to 44321. And now, in the room at the $500 giving level, thank you, bidder number 117 in at the $500 level. Bidder 115, thank you so much. Bidder number 106, thank you. Bidder number 124, thank you so much. Bidder 128, thank you. And bidder 112, thank you so much. That was a very strong left side of the room tonight. Right side, don't be bashful. You can give tonight as well. And thank you. At home tonight, thank you, well, a big thank you to Puget Sound Express, giving $1,000 to be matched tonight, and then Lynn and Ed Reisel giving $1,000 to be matched, and that's one more to meet. So that's just one more. So that's great. That's information. See, this is the technology that's so complicated I don't understand it. They triggered, we have one more at that $1,000 level. So that's all that we have left to match there, and that's great. And look, we just got it. Thank you to Daniel Draper for that incredible $1,000 match. Terrific. Wow. So that's exciting. And now, jumping around like popcorn in a popcorn popper, we're back to the $500 level. And I want to thank our friends at home who have given at this level. And again, Mike Devaney and Tracy Bishop giving again at $500. Thank you so much. Also, Ronald Allen tonight is donating not $500, not $600, but $700. So thank you for that, Ronald Allen, for your $700 gift. And board member and one of the great supporters of salmon, and how could you not be with a name like this, board member David Trout. David Trout. So, love David Trout. David, at one time, was working with the Nisqually tribe, I think. Still is. So, great to see his name on the leaderboard again. And also, at the $500 level, Margot Laxon tonight. So, thank you, Margot, for your support at that $500 giving level. Last call at the $500 giving level. If you'd like to give it $500, now is the time to make that gift. All right, well, we'll move right along to the $250 giving level. And at the $250 giving level, more exciting news, matches continue. Big shout out to Steve and Barb Spence. And they have put a challenge out there. They will match 20 gifts at $250. So 20 gifts at $250. If you haven't yet given, this is a great time to do that and help us meet that match. Steve and Barb, great friends of the organization. They would love nothing more than to have all 20 of those $250 gifts matched. That means those of you at home can come alongside and help us. And this is the $250 giving level. So in the room tonight, big shout out and thank you to bidder number 130 for that. Bidder number 105, thank you. Bidder 107. And bidder number 129, some great friends of the organization. And in the back of the room, bidder number 123, also in at $250. And giving online at $250, thank you. Let's have a great big round of applause for these names, and there's quite a few here. Sarah Hankey, thank you, Sarah. Alyssa Snetzinger, thank you, Alyssa. Cecilia McCormick. Jeannie Butler. Jeff Williams, these are all at the $250 level. Linda Finn is in for $200. Thank you, Linda. Tamara Crafts and Jeff Lake. And they are the development and communication director, Minta Crafts' parents. And I believe they're in Eugene, Oregon, tuning in. So shout out to the Crafts. And shout out to Minta. Minta, we miss you. We feel you. Minta if Minta was a Major League Baseball player, she would be out for health and safety protocols. So Minta, we miss you. But we know you're there and we feel your spirit. And special thanks to Sherry Ward. Yes, Sherry, thank you. Swaim Strategies, thank you. Jeffrey O. White, thank you for your $250 gift. Nicholas Franz, thank you. Kathy Stallcup-Meyer, thank you. Corinne Michelle, thank you. And Tanya Lee Irwin finishes the match with $1,000 because she's matching 4 of those. So fantastic. That's outstanding. Well, unbelievable. Somebody's father called in. I'm looking to my right. Great news. Thank you, Norm Dix, at back home. Norm Dix called the tech support line, and he donated $2,500. Does that sound like your father? Thank you. Thank you, Norm. That's outstanding. Oh, I will not repeat what somebody just said about that's funny. There may be casting calls for progressive ads about how to be your parents or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, that was great. Norm, thank you for your continued long time support of Long Live the Kings. Outstanding. Well, that's terrific. Friends, we met the match, so that is awesome. We appreciate Steve and Barb Spence for their generous matching gift of $5,000 at that $250 level, so that is terrific. Well, moving right along, our next stop on the giving love train is the $100 giving level. And friends, if you haven't yet given at home or you'd like to give again and hit a number that works just right for you, the $100 level added to whatever you've already given could be the number for you. And if you're in the room tonight, thank you for your incredible generosity, and let's get those bid cards up. This is the $100 giving level, and this is, we've got a lot of folks to recognize at home and in the room, so we'll get rolling here at the $100 giving level right here in the room, in the back. Thank you. Bidder number 120, thank you so much. Bidder 116, thank you. Bidder 110, thank you. Bidder 113, thank you. Bidder 125, thank you. Bidder 126, thank you so much. And bidder number 132, thank you so much. All in at $100. Wow. So online giving, strong work. I'm going to read through these. Some of these have different dollar values coming in. These are numbers that just came in. Thanks to Zachary DeMarco for your $250 gift. Great job, Zachary. Sherry Draper giving $500. Thank you, Sherry. And now we're going to get into the $100 roll. Thanks to Mary Harrigan for her gift. Karis Brotherton, thank you. Larry Franks, Marguerite Zimmerman, John Stein giving $150. Thank you, John. Stefan Kunrad is in. Sherry Adams, thank you. Amanda Gronlin, Jane, it's a Norwegian name, Kaje? K-A-J-E, Kaje. Perhaps it's Norwegian. We're in Ballard, it should be Norwegian. Dennis Michael Waldron, thank you. Larry Nakata, thank you, Larry. Mark Bentrot, Catherine Marie Collings, and Rosalind Luke Mammon is in at $250. Thank you so much. And also Lucas Hall, a Long Live the Kings fellow. Lucas Hall's in for $150. Thank you, Lucas. So outstanding support from near and far. Those of you in the room, thank you for your gifts tonight. And those of you at home, thank you for your incredible support. We have some additional giving amounts. Remember, if you would like to make a gift to Long Live the Kings, any dollar amount at any time is helpful. Every dollar counts. We have some additional gifts tonight. Thanks to David Summers, we have 4 anonymous donors who have come in at levels other than the levels I talked about. We also have Lindsay Oswald supporting the organization tonight, and Foster. Thank you for your gift. And Joy Waltermeyer in at $150. Joy from the video. Love those Hood Canal. And Rick Endicott, Joy and Rick, here's a little secret. And keep it in the room, okay? But if you ever get a chance to go to the Long Live the Kings Fall for Hood event, or is it Fall for Hood Canal event? It's in the fall. It has been dark the last couple of years for obvious reasons, but if you get a chance to go to that event, we stay at the Alderbrook Resort. It is so fabulous, and Rick and Joy and the incredible team on the Steelhead mission are out there, and the karaoke after hours is super fun. So be there. It's a lot of fun. And look, Mente Crafts, thank you for your gift tonight. $250, outstanding. Well, that's been a solid effort tonight from everybody in the room. Thank you so much for all of the work that you've been doing on behalf of helping save salmon right here in the Salish Sea. And, you know, folks have given multiple times tonight. They gave once, they gave twice, and some folks gave many times. So remember, we can continue receiving gifts, and if you know somebody who couldn't make it tonight and wasn't able to join in the telecast, feel free to share this link, and the giving continues, always continues, the work continues, so the giving continues as well. Well, tonight we have an auction coming up a little bit later, but online, I'm excited to let everybody at home know that the online auction is open through Monday, is it the 11th, I think? Yes. And that's until noon, and you have a chance to bid on all sorts of online auction items. So those are open for bidding right now, and you can bid using that button on the screen at home. For those of you here tonight, you can access that when you get home. And the online auction items are fabulous. They include a steelhead fishing adventure for 2 people with Browsda's fly fishing and a 3-night stay at Wild Duck Lodge near Forks, Washington. There is an incredible sports package available that includes Seattle Storm, Mariners tickets, Kraken tickets. The NHL is a thing here. And if you haven't been to a game yet, they throw anatomically correct plush salmon onto the ice. They're not real salmon. They're actually handmade. They're fabulous. So there's a lot of love for salmon in the Northwest, including at Kraken games. So get in on that online auction. And you also have an incredible array of beautiful handmade pottery in the online auction. And lots of course, it's a Long Live the Kings event. There's plenty of wine and other ways to support Long Live the Kings. So to bid, visit the website lltk22.ggo.bid or click the online auction button above to start bidding. And remember, friends, the auction closes Monday, April 11th at 12 p.m. Holy cow. Jacques, wait, come back. I don't think you should whisper that in my ear. Jacques has an exciting announcement.
Okay, we have another gift in the room for $10,000.
Wow.
Steve and Susan Pumphrey.
Wow. Outstanding. Say the name one more time.
Steve and Susan Pumphrey? Gloria Pumphrey, I'm sorry. Steve and Gloria Pumphrey.
Steve and Gloria, thank you. That's cool. If anybody else would like to make a gift of any amount, you're welcome to come up to the stage and just say, yes, we'd like to do that. So, outstanding. Well, we have a little bit of an update for you. I'm just going to check to see. Looks like we have a few more amounts that have come in. Big shout out to Nicholas Robert Franz for his gift. Toby Cooper is in tonight. And we've got another thing that we're going to do while the gifts continue to come in and we tabulate those. I'm going to bring, I was going to bring Jacques back to the stage, but Jacques he's going the long way around. He's saying thank you to our recent donors. And so as Jacques makes his way back to the stage, we have a really exciting little invitation for everybody in the room. And I'm going to have Jacques come back up and talk a little bit about that. And I'm just going to step to the side while you talk about this video.
Am I hot? Okay. I didn't mean it that way. Before I say what I was going to say, I do want to give a shout out again to Mike Grabowski and to Nelson J for their attire tonight. I mean, these are awesome. I was going to ask you if you were going to wear a fleece suit, but this is okay. Okay, so thanks, Nelson. Thanks, everybody. That was really great. I really appreciate the support, and we will put your dollars to really good work here at Long Live the Kings. We have some exciting stuff that we're getting into related to salmon and climate that we'll be talking about over the next year or so, but I think you can see that we're already doing some really interesting stuff. So now, as we all know, education is a huge part of creating awareness around this work. And in 2017, some of you might remember that Long Live the Kings took data collected by researchers studying steelhead migration through Hood Canal and Puget Sound and turned it into an interactive game called Survive the Sound. And in fact, Jack McDermott, who's here taking pictures, is our project manager. Hi, Jack. You do a great job. Using real tracking data, anyone can now participate in this fun competition to see which fish will survive its dangerous journey from their birth rivers to the ocean. Last year, over 20,000 people and classrooms joined the race. It's a one-of-a-kind way to team up and learn what life is like for our fish in Puget Sound, while helping to improve the odds of survival because it helps support Long Live the Kings and our partners. Tonight, you can select your fish for this year's Survive the Sound. Let's hear more about this exciting competition that anyone can join.
Well, Survive the Sound. It's a great interactive game. Jacques talked about it, and thanks to everybody that worked on that project here in the room, as Jacques mentioned. And I've participated in the game. It's fantastic, and a lot of school kids participate as well, and it's such a great educational tool. And I look forward to playing again this year, and I hope that my fish survives, because just like in real life, it's not an easy journey. Well, we have plenty of folks who've raced over the years and done that, and I know that with kids back in school, it's going to be a real hit. So it comes up in May. Be sure to participate in that. For those of you in the room, there is a QR code in your program, and you know, the QR code was almost gone from our lives, and then it came back in a big way. So tonight, you can scan that QR code to learn more about Survive the Sound, and it'll give you all the information that you need. We also have the code pictured here, so go ahead and scan it to check it out, and those of you at home, you can scan that. And now it's time to announce our lucky RSVP drawing winner, and a randomly selected guest who RSVP'd for this event to attend either here live in person tonight at beautiful Ray's Boathouse right here on the shores of Puget Sound. We have the Olympics to the west, and it is a spectacular evening. And if you attended here or if you registered to tune in at home, you are in the RSVP drawing. And that spinorama, we're gonna spin for that. We're gonna pull it up. We have technology that's truly cutting edge, and I think we're gonna pull that up right now. There it is. Okay, so everybody that pre-registered, look at that. I've never been a game show host, but here's my chance. Okay, so we're gonna spin, and wherever it stops, this person is going to win. They'll be our winner. Spin, 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 spin. Spin to win. We have a winner, Brian Davern. Brian Davern is our winner. Brian, congratulations. You know, when in doubt, when you see a name like Davern, then, you know, it rhymes with tavern. And that's easy. I used to be in the beer business, and that's an easy one to remember. So congratulations. You have won a $300 gift certificate to Fresh Fish Company, one of Seattle's best fresh fish companies. And the seafood is handpicked by owner Pete Stafford. So you know it's going to be some of the best seafood you've ever had. And the house-made crab cakes are legendary, so don't miss out on those. Well, congratulations, and we have another drawing, and now it's time to see who has won from our audience at home. And this is the Watch and Win prize drawing. And we've already done the drawing, and just to let you know, to get you excited, the winner will get a chance to explore Seattle's oldest distillery, the Ula Distillery Bottle Shop. You'll take a you and 14 friends will get to tour the facility. It's a 12,000 square foot warehouse, and you'll be able to sip on world-class handmade, locally made whiskeys, gins, and vodkas made on site from grain to glass. Thanks to Ula Distillery for supporting Long Live the Kings. And our Watch and Win winner tonight is Jerry Brenner. So let's hear it for Jerry Brenner. Congratulations, Jerry. You're headed to Ula Distillery, and you could collaborate with Brian on the seafood, and you can have quite a party there with a lot of great seafood and the distillery tour. Well, we have some other folks to thank, gifts that just came in. Thanks to video star and scientist extraordinaire Rick and his partner Michelle Endicott for their support. And that is just fantastic. Also, Benjamin Lord is in tonight. Thank you, Benjamin, for your support at home. And great support. Keep the gifts coming. And Jacques, I saw somewhere, look at that. We're up to over $130,000 raised tonight for Long Live the Kings. What an incredible evening. More work to be done, and the great news is we've got the ability to share the link to tonight's show. You could do that. That would be a great help. Share that and let others know about the important and effective work that Long Live the Kings is doing. Well, thank you to our Long Live the Kings friends and family for the impact tonight in helping us restore the health and vitality of our salmon and steelhead populations and the marine life that we all need to survive. Well, you can continue to revisit or share this program with someone who missed it. Just come back to this live stream link and hit play. And on behalf of everyone at Long Live the Kings, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the crucial work that's happening. We need to make the waters here nourishing, thriving place for our precious marine life. And we certainly couldn't have done this without your work tonight and the work that you'll continue to help us with in the future. Thank you so much, and good night.